Good evening, everyone. Welcome to some late night rando here on Speed Gaming 3. Welcome to week 2 of the League to the Past Randomizer League. I am James FNX, and I'm joined tonight by Tracy M. Tracy, how's it going?
Going pretty good. We got a second match between Shaqtool's Ding Game and WJP DTB. Earlier tonight, you might have seen Aussie defeating In the Name of DT in a very close race. Hopefully, we can get a nice close race here today as well.
Yeah, for Shaq Tools Game, we've got Hitaka, and for Team WJP DTB, we have the JP of the team, BrewersFanJP. And this is week 2, so it is an open mode seed. It is basically Brando the way the developers intended.
Yep, pretty much as simple as you got in terms of nothing strange, no escape, no keys in weird places. Just clearing those crystal dungeons will get you into Ganon's Tower and let you kill Ganon. So no all dungeons that we have to clean up at the end. So just a straight up open mode.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if our two runners take divergent routes at the start here. There are a few preferred routes from runners in open mode. Sometimes you'll see Houlihan starts, but both our runners are going to start in Link's house here, and there's a bow to start things off with.
Nice early bow, and looks like they're going to take at least to Uncle, both of them.
Crystal check, we have a 5-6 crystal at Eastern, and the other two dungeons are regular crystals, so a lot of easy dungeons are going to have crystals attached to them.
And we might even get an early Eastern play with that bow. They can full clear Eastern. It's not in logic until they have some sort of fire source to get to the back. Potentially not in logic get to the back because the big key is in the vanilla location. But, you know, dark rooms are a thing that most of these runners can do, so I'd be really surprised if they would shy away from it because of that.
Yeah, you saw both our runners go and kill one of these enemies here and then grab this tree that's in the courtyard as we find a boomerang on our uncle. So when you do kill an enemy and pull a tree, it gives one specific item. And this seed is going to be 5 rupees, 4 copies. And there's a hammer. So
nice hammer.
our first few checks are just really loaded.
Yeah, it looks like JP's going to go ahead and do escape. Looks like Hitaka too with that hammer. You might as well. Nope, Hitaka said, I think, okay. He thinks about it, grabs the magic drop, and decides he's just going to go and probably go over to Sanctuary.
Hitaka's going to give us our first look at Sanctuary and head over to Kakariko, while JP's going to go through these 4 checks, 3 in logic and a 4th in the front of escape. There's 3 downstairs and then 1 in that dark cross chest.
Yeah, we'll see if he decides to do the dark cross chest, since hammer not the best item to use in the dark. Certainly it is something he could choose to do. I do like the play to at least go into the escape, since you've already invested the time to go over to Uncle. Nice mushroom.
Yeah.
Just get this cleared right now while you're in the area.
Yeah, these are kind of slow checks, though, and Hitaka is definitely preferring to do other things. Finding out this stun prize is 20 rupees. Whenever you stun an enemy in Link to the Past, it's going to give the same item every time when you kill it. So 20 rupees whenever you stun one of these enemies is going to be a really easy way to catch up with a lot of money in the start of the seed for Hitaka.
Yeah, nice early boomerang to get that early stun prize, though. And just 50 rupees on the lumberjack, so if we have to kill Ag, it'll just be for Dark World access.
And what our first non-unique item we found here in Escape, with just a piece of heart in the second chest, where you normally find that blue boomerang.
Hitaka farming all those red rupees. And what is this? 3 minutes in, we've got silvers. And there's no way JP misses that, so both runners gonna have silvers pretty soon.
Yeah, they're...
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, we got bombs in the bottom of in Zelda's cell, so unless that mushroom is something escape not gonna be worth.
And not the front lease, and JP decides not to do that dark room. It is really hard to do with hammer.
Yeah, I think that's just as well. He doesn't have the small key yet. We didn't see the small key or the map, so he could end up doing the dark room just for one of those 2 things, which you don't want to do.
Absolutely not. We're going to get our first look at Kakariko here as JP is going to skip looking at Lumberjack Ledge, which we know will pay off for him as there's only 50 rupees up there. And Hitaka is going to head straight down and buy some bombs after checking out the tavern.
Yeah, Hitaka with plenty of money to buy bombs is not going to be a problem. JP already having 3 bombs from the bottom of the escape. Can at least do the checks before that, and then he can decide if he still needs to buy bombs afterwards.
Exactly, and 60 rupees plus whatever he's going to find with the in pots in those first 2 bomb checks in the well and in Blind's house is going to give him enough to pay off the bottle vendor.
Yeah, with the amount of money Hitaka's farmed, it might have been an idea to go ahead and just do that bottle vendor first and see if it had bombs, but he'll still be able to afford it. He's got plenty of money from those stun prizes.
So far, nothing going in Kakariko. We're going to get a lot of checks here in a real quick order here. Our bottle vendor is very bad at economics today. It's no wonder he can only sell once there.
Ooh, a hook shot in Blind's hut. That'll be nice. And a cape.
You keep something runners, and there's the gloves too.
Oh my god. We are just getting of course we have no sword, but you know. We don't need a sword. We got a lot of really good items.
Yeah, we got really good items. Cape is something I don't think our runners are gonna be particularly thrilled to see is oftentimes that cape means you're gonna have to climb Enigma's tower. But with a glove and a hammer, the only reason you have to climb it is to get the moon pearl itself.
Yeah, Moon Pearl on Pyramid Ledge is all that's left for that, and I'm not seeing it. We don't have any swords yet, so.
Yeah, still a ton of the world to check out here too.
Hitaka already with Zora money if he chooses to do a fake flipper play.
I would be surprised. I think I'd probably prefer going up the mountain in the dark over a fake flipper play with the equipment we have going on here.
Yeah, the problem with the fake flipper to Zora is without the Moon Pearl or the boots, you can't get the items in the Waterfall Ferry, and then you're not saving yourself an extra trip later. So you really want to be able to pair all those in together.
Yeah, exactly. Meanwhile, doing that sequence break up the mountain, you have access to everything in the light world, other than potentially one item in Tower of Hera.
I think those were arrows. Whatever it is, Hitaka just went out there right
yeah,
away.
They were,
so we're not going to come back for that.
Yeah, it was just a 10-pack of arrows up there.
And more arrows that we're not going to get.
So far the only real difference is this mushroom.
Yep. So I see the call for this being a jet seed. Well, we've seen enough seeds where they're jet seeds until they aren't, and we still don't have a sword, so Hitaka going to go ahead and do the back of escape right away. I'd really like to see JP turn in that mushroom right away, since that was the one thing he got out of the front of escape. And there is an item at Dark Cross as we see both map and small key in the back.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how quickly, or if JP decides to make a play on that Dark Cross item. He's kind of isolated it a bit at this point. You can go backwards through there and get to it from the back of escape, but without the lamp and without a real way to guide yourself through these rooms, hookshot is good, but sword is better to do that. Could be more than he wants to do for one check.
And we see Hitaka heading over to Eastern Palace, since this is full clearable, even though potentially not in logic full clearable, depending on if we see a lamp or a fire rod, and depending on where that big key is. And it looks like JP gonna do the same thing. And we see a book which opens up desert, but we cannot full clear that until we have the fire source. Fire source hard required to get to the back of desert.
Yeah, that's just a little more options to have here in the light world, though. So we have access to, at this point, just about everything in the light world that doesn't require dark world access of some sort.
Yeah.
The world is these two runners' oysters. It's just a matter of where that moon pearl is going to be for them.
Hitaka, the first one to enter Eastern.
Yeah, and even though the parts of this dungeon are out of logic without a fire source, shouldn't be much of a problem for our runners. They're pretty high skilled. There is one room that can be quite tricky, though. The upstairs room that has a couple of Igors that are kind of a pain to get rid of or dodge when you don't have a way to really track where you're at. So we find flippers in our first chest.
Yeah, flippers. So now Zora completely in logic. They can get all the checks there. That could be advantage Hitaka since he has the money. I don't think JP's found out about his stun prize yet.
I don't think so either. I think if he knew about it, he would have farmed it pretty hard with having a hammer to basically kill anything in his way between Sanctuary and Kakariko.
And already the first two items, second item being those bombs.
If we see a big key here, we could have a very favorable Eastern for our runners where they don't have to even look at that vanilla big key chest.
That would be really nice for the runners. And we do see a big key there. Now, question is the third item going to be in the big chest, or is it going to be in the big key chest, or is it going to be on the Armos Knights?
About to find out here. If they can avoid that big key room, that's a heart and a half they get to save. They are not going to get to if they want to get all the items here, though. Like, to do the vanilla big key room quickly does take a couple of damage boosts, which takes a heart and a half even on blue mail. And with 5 hearts, that's not a lot of health they'll have left.
Hitaka grabbing that rupee. He knows he wants to have some money for Zora. I don't know if he's going to do this right away, but I suspect we'll see that check from him relatively soon.
Yeah, I think Hitaka wants to get up over 600 for sure, just to leave the option of a quick pod dip open if Zora happens to have, say, the Moon Pearl.
And a mirror! Oh my god. Get all the good items all right away. And Hitaka with a nice play of going ahead and grabbing those heart pots so you can go into that room with five hearts and blue mail to go and kill those Igors. Like you said, that is the hard room. That's the one we went through, the one that's never in logic without lamp. That's the easy one. The one that is in logic with the fire rod, that's a hard one if you don't have any kind of fire source.
Yeah, we're gonna see JP try and stick an arrow into the Igor and track it that way. Kind of lost his way, and he's about to. Yeah, he's taking a death here, unfortunately.
We'll see if he decides to go back in or not.
I think with all 3 items, I wouldn't bother. Yeah, JP's just going to take the save and quit. Meanwhile, there you go on Hitaka's side. He is able to track that one. And then it's not over yet. You still have this other Igor chasing you around, and this pot can be annoying, and it's a lot harder than you'd think for a first dungeon.
Okay, JP gonna check the back of Escape. He's gonna get the bad news that there is an item left over there on the Dark Cross, and we'll have to see if he decides to go for it.
I would suspect that he does. He's not ever going to have a really good reason to head back over to that area again. So his choices are either orphan that item or get it now. You know, Hitaka did make it through with an heart and a half. Plenty of ways to refill your health before this Armoros fight, and with silver arrows, going to be smooth sailing for Hitaka here to get this first crystal out of the way.
Plus, it's silver arrows, so it's going to be a lot quicker fight. And killing the red Igors also a lot quicker. Okay, we have not seen anything at South Shore, so that is where JP is heading. Looks like he chose not to go ahead and go into that Dark Cross.
Yeah, I think JP is just going to decide here that if that's an item that's good. I don't have a lamp yet. It's not in logic. There's only a certain number of things it could be. And it's very unlikely with how... And there's a sword being drowned in the dam. But I think with it's very unlikely that Hitaka's also, if Hitaka checked the front of his tape already, that he's also going to dig for the Dark Cross items. There's no cost to orphaning it right now.
We do get some route divergence. It looks like Hitaka's going to go head up the mountain. You've got a full clearable. Okay, potentially full clearable Hera in there. Now, if he knows Herapod is going to be full clearable. I'm pretty sure Hitaka can do that.
Could end up leaving an item behind in the basement if it's laid out that way. But
yes, he could. Or in the big chest. Oh, and a red cane at the mini Moldor cave. Which is, I don't think Hitaka will skip that for too long, but he will need to get there.
I need to get there eventually. That cane of Samaria, one of the most important items for going fast in these randos. Not as important as the boots. It's the second best red item, but it's really good.
It is a good red item. Unfortunately, Hitaka doesn't have his sword yet, but with that hammer, he will be able to kill Moldorm, so he'll be fine. There's a very good chance that once each of these runners do these things, they're just going to flip-flop anyway. I mean, by far and away, the most item-dense areas that they can check. The other possibility is heading over to Desert, and I suspect they'll both do that after these two checks, unless something else comes up.
Yeah, with what we've gotten so far, that mirror being completely out of logic without a lamp, it wouldn't surprise me Moon Pearl is either in Desert or on Desert Ledge at this point.
Okay, Paradox Cave Part 1. Nothing. Going to see a hobo check from JP. Part 2. A shield. Not what we're looking for. Oh my, I mean, a heart container's nice, but really a whole lot of garbage in Paradox Cave today.
Yeah, nothing that Hitaka really wants for the seed. Well, meanwhile, JP takes the ho's last dollar. Robin and Blind before heading over to Waterfall Cave and Zora.
No, he doesn't have enough money for Zora, so he might be counting on being able to get something in one of the other 3 locations. Or maybe he'll try his hand at the Sun Prize and find out that, oh, look, hey, 20 rupees.
I certainly would, if I didn't know what the Sun Prize was, I certainly would try the Sun Prize as soon as I got Zora's Domain. And then I would realize I'm doing just fine.
Okay, 20 rupees on the floating island. We won't be coming back for that.
Nope. And interesting.
Okay. I would have expected him to do Hera first. But
meanwhile, I think we saw boots on JP's side in Waterfall Cave, so he's gonna be going fast now.
That's a nice item.
And does know about the stun prize, is gonna get these 20 rupees from each of these crabs and kill one of these little mini Zoras to pay off the big boss.
Okay, Hitaka gonna save and quit out of Spiral Cave, and let's see, is he gonna... Oh, looks like he'll do the South Shore checks, which should be good for him because he'll get that cane, he'll get those boots.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised. I'm a little surprised he didn't. I'm a little surprised he didn't go to Hera. I guess he does have the mirror.
He has the mirror. He's got the save quit spot, so he can go straight there after this. I'm guessing he's hoping to find a fire source, so he doesn't have to worry about orphaning an item in Hera. That's the biggest reason I can think of for not going in there right now.
That is reasonable. It looks like JP is going to likely head up the mountain here now.
Yeah, I believe that as well. Like I said, they'll switch.
where he'll find disappointment. But first, Bonk Rocks.
Hitaka will get a sword. And just a heart container at the Bonk Rocks. We're still pretty low health, so it's not the worst thing ever, but yeah, definitely not what we're looking for.
Still kind of surprised that JP hasn't made a mushroom play as of yet. I mean, he does have the cane, so it wouldn't surprise me if he would do a fake powder first at this point. But that is one item that's in a location where it's somewhat reasonable to expect your opponent to not have checked yet.
Yeah, I mean, even if you're thinking of fake powdering, you can, if you check the mushroom straight from, if you take the little portal from the lake near the Dark World portal, right south of Link's house, and if it's nothing, you can just reset. You won't lose anything from doing that. So
yeah, exactly.
And if it is something good, then you know what, you don't worry about fake powder. You just take the item you got. JP having that sword makes it a little bit easier to navigate through this dark room.
Hitaka heading over to Ice Rod Cave, dealing with our favorite light world enemy, the crabs. Secretly one of the most dangerous enemies in the game, as they do 2 hearts of damage to green mail, more than any other light world enemy, and they move pretty randomly.
I'm not sure it's a secret. Those crabs are dangerous. Crabs hurt. Okay, I don't think we saw the spectral rock checks from Hitaka, so we are going to see that just 20 rupees on the top and a piece of heart inside, so we're not going to get those. And JP going to route this differently by going to Hera first. Hitaka, meanwhile, going to do his flipper checks. Going to start with the disappointment that is the hobo.
And we got a crystal check for JP in the Dark World. We have Swamp Palace being our other 5/6 crystal, and then Pod and Mire as regular pendants, and Turtle Rock as our green pendant.
So that cane, may not even be necessary.
Oh, it's always necessary. Ice Palace is in logic.
Oh yeah, I mean necessary in the hard necessary, but yeah, we might not actually need it. Okay, first check in Hera is just the map. And we get the big key there, so it looks like JP is going to still go for the Hera pot, and that's not uncommon. Still a little bit faster if you can get it right away.
I haven't seen these bonk strats yet. This is new for me. Nicely done.
Okay, Hitaka getting his boots.
The 10-pack for JP in the big chest. I think the other chest was the other dungeon item, so 50-50 here, whether the boss has a small key or that last item. And Moldorm fight, 3 hits with the hammer. Nicely done by JP, nice and smooth. Let's see if we're leaving an item behind. We are.
And we are. Yep. Okay, I suspect Hitaka will now go and... Nope, he's not going to do the mount. Okay. I thought Hitaka would go do Hera at this point. Not sure where he's headed. Oh, he's going to go straight to Bonk Rocks. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, see if these boots lead immediately to anything or not.
Okay, now let's see if he goes to Hera. Looks like our answer might be in Desert Palace. We still don't have the answer. I mean, if the runners want to, they could go and do Dark Aga for Dark World access, but we still don't have a Moon Pearl, so can't see either one of them doing that.
Yeah, no, I think desert's our next play over here for Taka. He's headed in that direction. Sorta. See if he heads straight down here. Yep. So we're gonna get a look at the desert area. There's almost so guaranteed 3 checks, possibility for a 4th.
Meanwhile, JP going to be very disappointed in what he finds in the Paradox Cave.
I kind of like this from Hitaka. He's going to check Agana before hopping into desert. If Agana has that Moon Pearl or has some other progression here, he's going to prefer to do that before heading into Desert Palace.
Yeah, I think so. But just 50 rupees.
So we are going to get a look inside Desert Palace. 1 item guaranteed with our loadout. 1 item could be locked behind the boss on Landmill.
And JP now knows he has to head over to desert as well. Although we still have that mushroom to turn in. Ah, there
Here's
we go.
the mushroom
We're finally
play.
going to get the mushroom play.
Yeah. So this is the other place where our progression can be, is on the mushroom. It's Hitaka still has not checked out the front of Escape, where that mushroom is in the first chest. It could be Moon Pearl, it could be Lamp. I believe those are the only 2 items that could be progression at this point.
And a bug net is our first desert check. Oof. And it's just 10 arrows. And JP resets. So if Hitaka can manage to avoid going through the front of Escape, that'll be a definite time save for him. Of course, we still don't know what that Dark Cross item is.
We still need a fire source to put that in logic, so we could find a fire rod here and kick that to the forefront.
There's the Moon Pearl.
Yeah, there's our Moon Pearl, which saves us a lot of headaches here of having to deal with Agnes Tower. Hitaka is going to go straight to Hype Cave. Wouldn't be surprised with Hype Cave directly into Pod's a pendant here, so maybe that would be a little surprising. Swamp's in logic totally though, so I wouldn't be surprised for a Hype Cave directly into Swamp play.
You know, it's a crystal. It's a 5/6 crystal. I could definitely see just doing Hype Cave and then going straight over to Swamp. Kind of sucks to do it on Fighter's Sword, but you know, I mean, it's definitely doable.
I've done worse things in my life, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Get those
And
resident sleepers in chat for this Hype Cave.
Whole lot of nothing in Hype Cave. I guess we did end up with another full heart container with those 2 pieces of heart, but that's about it.
So the one thing to remember is this mirror was locked in behind the dark room in Eastern, so we're not going to find the lamp in Swamp. Runners don't really need the lamp. They do need a fire source at some point, and they do need the fire rod specifically to beat Skull Woods. But they certainly would like to find a fire source so they can finish off Desert and get that second item in Hera if it's something. But it's definitely not going to be a lamp in Swamp based on where that mirror was located.
That is correct. And we do see Hitaka doing some of these other checks before going into Swamp Palace. Maybe hoping to make it just a little bit better, get a better sword or something.
Yeah, a sword upgrade would speed up the Argus fight considerably, and it's certainly worth checking these couple of close by locations before diving into Swamp.
JP having different ideas. Looks like he's going to head over towards the village of Outcast with his Moon Pearl. Which is fair. Thieves Town, full clearable dungeon as well.
Yeah, I don't mind this either from JP. You have a cape, puts that bumper ledge item into check or into logic, and Thieves Town is then the village outcast area is almost as dense as Hype Cave into Swamp. It's a little bit less, but we know the Hype Cave is a bust. JP doesn't know that, but this may turn out to be the better play for him.
And Hitaka not going to do Swamp Palace yet. Okay. Looks like he's going to head over to Village of Outcasts. So he's up several checks on JP, but unfortunately those checks don't amount to anything. But on Hitaka's side, JP almost certainly doesn't skip any of those. It's very rare that you skip Hype Cave, for instance.
Yeah, Hitaka is way more likely to skip the front of Escape than JP is to skip Hype Cave.
Exactly. One unfortunate thing for JP I'm going to point out, assuming Pen and Pod has nothing and they don't ever go there, it is the fact that Pod being a pendant is going to make it a little bit harder for him to get back over to Eastern Palace. Ideally, he would have liked to just paired the two and then he doesn't lose a whole lot of time. He's going to have to get back there at some point.
Yeah, and with no flute guarantee to be in the item pool before Ganon's Tower, it kind of just isolates that check off to a certain extent. Also, with Turbo Rock being our green pendant, it's very unlikely that our runners are going to be clearing that dungeon in full. Thieves Town giving us a small key early, so our runners are definitely going to be making a dip over to the big chest here.
Yeah, so far not a whole lot. We've seen a heart container and a 50 rupees. And this will be the big key.
Yeah, there's a small chance we'll get the fastest possible, well, not the fastest possible with a small key, Thieves Town, and we won't have to big check out the big chest, but one dungeon item in any of these next two checks will send our runners that way.
Yeah, fortunately we do have a hammer, so we don't have to worry about leaving any items behind.
Yeah, runners, most runners kind of get hinky if they end up in Thieves Town or in the Thieves Town area and they don't have a hammer. I've seen people just decide to leave it until they find that hammer. They're just so paranoid about leaving an item in this dungeon.
Oh, we saw it in a race. Was it yesterday or the day before? I forget who was racing, but the hammer was in Thieves Town in the first 4 chests, and one of the runners chose to skip. Did not go to Thieves Town for a long time. It turned out to be like boots and hammer in the first 4 checks at Thieves Town. It was just, at that point, it was really no recovering from that.
Yeah, I just like Thieves Town. It's not an easy dungeon. It's not free, but it is pretty straightforward. It's a good place for me to like kind of clear my mind and get used to what I need to do in the dark world and just relax a bit and get a dungeon out of the way. So I generally don't mind doing it even without a hammer.
Yeah. Thieves Town generally doesn't benefit from go mode either, so putting it off in that sense doesn't really do much good. Just that's the one troll of the big chest. Okay, let's see what the maiden has for us today. Just 20 rupees. Okay. Now, see if the big chest has the other item or if the last item is on Blind himself. Just a compass in the big chest. So Blind will drop the last item.
Yep. So, do you like puns?
Depends. Go for it. I'm sure someone in chat will like your pun.
We'll see what Blind has for us here in a moment. One of the fun features of the randomizer is most of the text has been removed from the game, but our friend Blind always has something witty to say.
Oh yes, he does.
don't see you seeing having such a bright because he's blind. He can't see. It's the highest form of comedy, folks.
JP gonna make use of that cape as he's getting a little bit off script there. It's a good call to throw that cape on.
Yeah, this blind fight. Yeah, very smart. Master Sword is a great find. Remembering he has that cape. This blind fight. If you do the same thing, there's very little RNG at the start. If you do the same thing, blind will do the same thing. But if you fall off script, it can be a very dangerous fight. Cape does make it a lot easier, though, a lot safer, and JP smart enough to remember that he has the cape and not have the hubris to not go there.
Hitaka also getting a little off script. See if he been used to that cape. Okay, he gets through it without. And he'll get his Master Sword as well. And we're going to get that fate powder check over from JP here, since he did manage to keep that mushroom.
Yeah, this is a play that almost never pays off, but you remember every time that it does. So this is a glitch that if you run your magic bar out and then you try and make a Samaria block, and it's going to make this awful noise saying you can't do it, and then you immediately switch over to the mushroom, you create a powder puff. And it activates this magic bat, and you get this item when you're not supposed to have it. You can also use it to just use powder in dungeons or other locations. If you're out of magics, you can powder an anti-fairy in the end of Misery Mire, for example.
That was just 50 rupees. So, and a tempered sword sitting there on the ledge there. So we're going to go through Bumper Cave to get it.
Yeah, we'll see if JP's not going to head up there. He's going to make his way down, do this digging game. I wouldn't be surprised if JP made a dive into Swamp at this point. Master Sword is probably good enough to where you want to complete Swamp fast. But Hitaka is going to have this Tempered Sword, and that is a huge time advantage between Tempered and Master.
Yep, especially on the Argus fight itself. I mean, Master Sword, much better than Fighter, but Tempered, even better.
And we're going to see Hitaka take out these North Dark World checks, the Graveyard Ledge and King's Tomb.
Yeah, I like the way he's routing these in.
Honestly, wouldn't be surprised with Flippers to see this taken all the way over to Catfish before hopping into a Pendant Pod check, maybe. That would be a little surprising.
I don't see going to Pendant Pod when you have a full clearable Swamp available.
Yeah, that would be surprising, honestly. But I do see a Catfish play at the end of this.
Well, the fact that he's going back into the Dark World, not just jumping down... Wait, he's got... Well, never mind. No myths. You have to do this way. So, gonna check these. Check King's Tomb, and then we'll see if he continues on over to Catfish or not. He may never be anywhere closer to it, so this would be as good a time as any to check it. Just 20 rupees at King's Tomb.
So these boots were required to beat Desert, but they haven't really paid off anything else so far. Did get us that Moon Pearl, so it was required to get those boots before anything else. And Hitaka is going to continue heading east.
We're going to get in a Bombos tablet check from JP. Just bombs. I'll see if Catfish is anything.
JP heading over to Hype Cave if you need to get another nap in.
And And just an arrow at the catfish, so nothing good there. Hitaka now, I see no reason not for him to head to swamp at this point.
Agreed. 6 items, full clearable, unlocks 2 others. There's just way too many items that are involved in that location. Even with this mirror being out of logic, you know you won't find lamp in any of these 8 checks, but who cares?
But you could find a fire rod, and then you don't even worry about the lamp at this point.
Absolutely.
I mean, and heck, when you look at, you know, with Pod, Mire, and Turtle Rock being pendants, and the fact that Fire Rod would put those Armos Knights in logic. Oh wait, never mind. We still need to get a mirror. I had this vague notion of I want to see the lamp and GT seed, which we have the right pendants for, but with the mirror behind the lamp, we're not going to get that.
Yeah, that's one part of the
Darn
puzzle that doesn't work out, unfortunately.
Almost had the seed set up for that.
Yeah, if you've been running Rando for a while, there was a change. What was it, like a year and a half ago at this point? That put rooms that were completely traversable with Fire Rod into logic with only the Fire Rod. So all of escape in the boss area of Eastern Palace no longer required the lamp to be in logic, as long with a couple chests in pod.
Yep.
So it is possible now to have seeds where lamp ends up in GT.
That darn mirror location just ruined it. But it does make it nice though, with their loadout, because they aren't going to need that lamp, they don't have to search it out.
Yeah, and looking at things, we only need a couple items here for go mode at this point. We need those mitts, and we need a fire rod, and that is it. Because
the only way we need medallions if one of those things is in one of those dungeons, Misery Mire or Turtle Rock. The only way we need that cane that we have is if something's in those dungeons, or the cane could lead us to the big key as well. That can happen.
Speaking of that cane, we may be seeing it put to work here in Swamp Palace. I mentioned earlier this is the second fastest red item in the game. It's a very simple, very straightforward item that doesn't let you do anything weird at all in terms of clipping through walls or breaking logic in a couple dungeons.
Looks like we're gonna get a little bit of route diversions. JP gonna go ahead and go straight to the back. Hitaka is gonna do do the left side first. I can see either route. We do see this play that Hitaka is doing a lot more with the new diver down strats.
Yeah, you don't lose much time at all. You lose like a minute going left side with diver down strats, especially with how well it just sets up with dropping a bomb in there, and then you clip into the rail here with diver down. You see the Cane of Samaria block at work. It kind of traps you between the block and the rail, and you just hop over the rail, and now you're on solid ground, even though you're drowning.
Yeah. Now, I typically prefer what JP did, to go to the back first. In particular, in this case, because we hadn't seen map or compass. But unfortunately for JP, as soon as he got to the next area, map, compass. So we know there's 2 items back here. And JP gonna do spin strats here to speed it up a little bit. Doing a nice job so far.
Yeah, I think personally I prefer just getting left side out of the way. It's a lot faster with diver down than without. And there are the mitts on the left hand side.
So JP will have to go back in. We'll see if he decides to.
I can't imagine that he won't. There's not a lot else that can be done in this seed at this point.
So we are down to that fire rod, and we can't even go into Ice Palace because we don't have Bombos either. So.
Yep, no fire rod and no bombos. Expect one of 2 options here for our runners. Either doing the Smith Chain or climbing Death Mountain again and taking a look at Dark Death Mountain's 6 items.
I did not see what Argus dropped. What did we get there?
Not sure. We'll see it in a minute here on Hitaka's side.
Because if it's the big key, Hitaka might still have to go back in.
Was the big key, according to our tracker
That's
duo.
yeah, and that's the other danger, in my opinion, of doing that left side first, is if the big key is in a really bad spot, then you're in that situation where, do I go back in for 1 check now, or is JP's going back in for 3?
That is true. While we got a moment here, we can give a big shout out to our tracker today, Duodeca, helping us out, making things readable for everyone. As we find Cane of Burna in that big chest.
Which does nothing for us, because we already have Cape for Spike Cave. And the one place where that cane really shines is if you're in trouble in the blind fight. We've already done that, so... Yep. So if Hitaka skips it, he will be just fine. We'll see if he decides to skip it. He might just take those myths and go straight into... No, he can't go to Ice Palace. Dark Death Mountain. Yeah, Dark Death Mountain would be a decent play for him, because he still has to go back and do Hera.
Yeah, I would suspect since Hera is still on the table for him, he's going to head up there. JP may take those mitts and head over to the Smith chain. But I would be surprised if Hitaka pirouettes here. What is JP doing?
Yeah, this doesn't...
This can't be faster than just doing it.
Okay. Yeah.
Hitaka does decide to go in, which is kind of surprising to me. There's also Pyramid Fairy after this as well for both our runners. This was the other 5-6
I could definitely see that. Hitaka gonna get a Swamp Palace first, but not by much. Okay, Hitaka has not done the Bombos tablet, so he's gonna do that now. I believe JP already did this.
Yeah, so JP's gonna head up and do get the big bomb and bring it over to the pyramid. Check out what the Pyramid Fairy has for us.
That's actually 3 checks. We have the 3 because we also have the Pyramid Ledge that we have not seen yet.
Yeah, this is a fairly item dense. Is he not grabbing the bomb? This seems odd. This seems really odd.
That is very odd.
Technically, it's faster. There are ways to maintain speed with that bomb if you are good at exploiting some minor glitches to do it.
I don't like this choice. You have the Pyramid Fairy right there in Logic and a Quake medallion that we probably don't care about. I mean, you pick it up anyway just in case it opens up.
Oh, this is what's going on. JP hasn't beaten Eastern Palace. Remember, he died.
Oh yeah.
He died in the Igor room, so he does not have that dungeon completed, so he can't get the big bomb.
Looks like he's gonna go do Eastern right now, and he might do that into Pod. Although, we're go -1. I mean, it could be Pod. Pod could be the answer. You know, Pod is so slow. You got other. I think you just got better things to do.
Yeah, especially since there are no items left in Eastern. He still has to beat the boss. But there's nothing left to grab in Eastern. The only things that are in this area is Pendant Pod. I guess you just maybe you've played enough seeds and been burned by Pendant Pod so many times you're just
well,
willing
Pendant Pod is known to have stuff, so I don't blame him for thinking that. But yeah, no, unfortunately, the Pyramid Fairy not paying off for Hitaka. He'll probably grab that Quake just in case as well. And Hitaka saving and quitting. Yeah, and we are going to see the mountain play.
Yeah, this makes a lot of sense for Hitaka. Oh, well, interesting.
Where are we going, Hitaka? He's thinking. Oh, no. He's going to go front of escape. He's going to do escape. Which, if he's going to do that, he should just mirrored from the pyramid. That would have been much more efficient.
What is...
Or
No, he's gonna make the pod play too? Interesting.
I don't like this call. Those myths, you know, follow those myths.
Big key on right side pod. The dream if you're go boating it. Less of the dream when you're trying to find items.
Well, pod's never a dream when you're trying to find items with all those, you know, at least 4 keys in the front 6.
We found 4 so far, or 3 so far. JP skipped the front door.
The good news is we know it's not going to be, the answer is not going to, I mean, I guess, yeah, you know the answer is not going to be in the back because, I mean, you could find a bombos to get to ice. There's a lamp. Okay, never mind. That lamp just put a whole bunch of stuff in logic.
Yeah, that lamp ties everything together. All of the Death Mountain stuff was out of logic.
Yep.
Up to this point. So that lamp kind of ties a lot of things together, but isn't that big of a find.
Yeah, the one thing that lamp could do, Hitaka will now, when he goes up to Hera, he will be able to finish the basement. If that fire rod's in the basement, that'll be really big.
That would be kind of awful for JP. Speaking of awful, these turtles are not giving the terror pins is their actual name. They're not giving JP a lot of quarter here.
So Hitaka gonna get his lamp. Probably the reason why he didn't do Hera in the first place earlier on. Didn't want to worry about orphaning that item.
Yeah. Will get the benefit of having that lamp the next time he climbs up Death Mountain.
That does allow us to full clear pod and for pod to have stuff. I was gonna say, you know, if we still didn't have a fire source, you're not gonna clear pod without a fire source at this point. Hitaka's just gonna leave with that lamp. Interesting. You really want that fire source, and we'll see if JP finds anything the rest of pod.
Yeah, if there's something else in pod here, this could be a big turning point for JP. At this point, it'd be very unlikely to shovel in the big chest.
Oh gosh, fetch quest anyone? He's not going to beat the dungeon.
This is the he's going to go finish off Eastern.
Yep.
Not the worst thing in the world. You can loop that shovel in with a big bomb check. We know the big bomb is not worth anything right now, but JP doesn't know that. But this will be a second fetch quest that JP has found that Hitaka is leaving behind.
Hitaka forgetting that he never checked the inside of Spectacle Rock Cave. Sees that piece of heart and says, nope, don't need that.
I think I would have just done Hera and then checked Spectral Rock Cave afterwards, honestly.
Except we still gotta get over to Dark Death Mountain. I'm not sure that... Yeah, I mean, it'd be pretty close. Hitaka getting his piece of heart off the ether tablet. Now, with the lamp, that room's super easy, and JP has no trouble with it.
Yeah, when you can see what you're doing in there, it's a much safer room.
That really is one of the, if not, that is really one of the hardest, most difficult dark rooms of the game.
Yeah, I think it's
that fire on.
I think it's that and the Samaria room in Meyer. They're like my two least favorite. Those Igors deal 1 hearted damage, I think, no matter what kind of mail you have, and typically you're going into there on a pretty low heart count. So
Taka choosing not to do the Hera pot. Doesn't lose that much time in this situation since we do have the big key.
Yeah, and with hookshot and boots, you're not going to have to climb up another level to get to that big chest or try a bomb jump that can be absolutely devastating if you fail it. It's one of the most punishing bomb jumps in the game. You have a hookshot.
Yeah. Hitaka remembering he has that hookshot, thankfully.
You fall down that hole, you're going down 2 floors, and you're screwing your camera up. You're usually mirroring to get back to the start. Is what's happening.
That's probably the most punishing bomb jump fail in the game, to be honest. With tempered sword, Hitaka will make very quick work of this.
Yeah, 1 spin and 1 slash, and that'll do it. Hitaka will get the bad news. He's got to take a coffee break before he gets the last item here.
Yeah, I can't imagine he doesn't do this right now, because he waited till he had a fire source to go here.
Oh, absolutely. Like, he loaded up the old man cave and decided I'd rather not. So now that he's got a fire source, I cannot imagine he's going to leave this last item behind. There's the pirouette.
Meanwhile, JP about to show Super Bunny Cave. And it's not there.
Did you say Super Bunny Cave or Super Money Cave?
Yeah, either one. Because that was a lot of money. Money we don't need. And we'll see Hookshot Cave from JP right now. Starting to run out of things again.
Yeah, we got the Smith chain. Desert is now completable. I'm not sure if there was an item behind Landmo, so there's one item there.
There wasn't.
Okay.
Moon Pearl and wasn't it Moon Pearl and Bugnet?
Was it Bugnet for the other? Okay, so
yeah.
Desert has nothing. Turtle Rock is ether. We can go in. Not thrilled, but you'll know very quickly whether you can do anything or not in this dungeon.
When did we get ether?
I'm not sure when we got ether. We didn't get ether. That might be a mismark. So JPA has ether.
In pod?
It wasn't pod. Harmless Hella. Oh, if there's something in here.
So
if there's something in here, pendant pod for a medallion to get into pendant Turtle Rock.
Fire Rock
for 1 check.
Pendant Turtle Rock.
Oh. Are the random gods smiling on JP today?
Well, if the answer is TR, then they are. If the answer is anything else, like this could lead him in quite the wild goose chase. If this is anything but a small key, though, he'll be kicked right out, and we will be fine. And it's the big key, so the answer is definitely not Turtle Rock. So the good news for Hitaka that Ether Medallion not gonna do anything unless we find a flute and Meyer suddenly becomes a thing.
Right. Yeah, the random gods are very neutral to JP today. They could have been a small key and they could have sent him deep into the dungeon without finding anything. So there are definitely worse places to end up there.
Yep, there is a key layout. If there's no keys on that right side, that allows you to get all the way down to Laser Bridge. So, and it's very, very rare that you see that key layout, but it does happen. JP gonna go check the basement of Hera. And I guess we have Spike Cave.
Yeah, we have Spike Cave, and we have Smith Chain, and that is it at this point.
So
unless I missed something.
So Hitaka will head over to that Spike Cave. You know, we have not touched Skullwood, so this could be a Fire Rod and Skullwood's thing. That does happen on occasion.
Yeah, I have found Skullwoods to pay off way more often than it should in this this version of the logic, honestly.
I mean, come on, game. How dare you put a game in its vanilla dungeon? Just a red boomerang at Spike Cave. JP gets his half magic. He'll mirror on out and probably head over to Spike Cave as well.
Yeah, if I was Hitaka, I would check Skullwoods first before doing the Smith chain because you're going to get taken away turning
Yeah, I
that
think that's
chest
reasonable.
in. And it's just the lot faster check. You have Kana Samaria. You can get the front 5 checks done pretty quickly.
Yeah, I like that call. We'll see if Hitaka likes it as well. Looks like that's where he's headed. Well, he's got to go to the Dark World first. We'll see if he goes north or south. The big thing is, can Hitaka stay out of pod and escape? Because we know there's nothing there. We still haven't seen that shovel.
Yeah, JP got that shovel and went straight up the mountain, so he has not made a play to turn that shovel check in. This routing I'm not a fan of from Hitaka. I would have probably gone to the vanilla big key chest, grab a key if you don't get one, and then head here. That way you can go through the front door and be able to mirror out and not worry about getting key locked here.
Yeah, with Pinball Room no longer being guaranteed a small key, he could get locked here. This may be a bit of a muscle memory, Hitaka being one of the top SMZ3 runners. The Pinball Room still is a small key in SMZ3. And he may have forgotten that, and this is going to lose him time if this is not a small key. And it's not.
Yeah, stuck in here. It's going to have to save and quit and come back to this area. Yeah, couple.
That is a costly mistake.
Does it? Entrance Rando does it as well. Puts a small key in that pinball room, but that is a fairly costly mistake. It's just going to be another 30 seconds or so to get back to Skullwoods.
Yeah, and that was another one of those version 31 changes along with the fire rod logic.
Well, I see JP doing the more traditional route with the new logic. Heading to the back first here with Kana Samaria getting to this chest is easy peasy.
Yeah, and he can steal the key from here, and then he doesn't have to worry about key logic at all in terms of getting around that front area.
Yeah, if this is a key, you don't even have to worry about
that key.
And if it isn't a key, then you go grab the key you would normally grab on the way to the boss.
Now, I kind of like that Hitaka's kind of switched this up. He knows he's already seen one item in Skullwoods. So he says, what are the odds my second item is a fire rod? I've seen most of the checks. I'm just going to go ahead and grab the Smith and do that because that's the other main possibility here.
I agree. You know that one of these 2 chests is a key. The only thing that could cost Hitaka is if this big chest has something. That is one of the other pieces of the logic you get if you don't have a key in those first 3 checks that you do from the drop down is that either there's the flute that is something I probably did not want to see.
No, they did not want to see that.
JP going for this bomb jump here in Skullwoods to get to the big chest. It's
okay. Red mail. Red mail's nice.
Red mail is okay.
Okay, we're down to purple chest. I have a feeling, yeah, and the big chest has a small key, so Skullwood's not the answer. Yeah, you gotta activate that flute first.
Keep hitting that Y button there, friend. At this point, we're just looking for a fire rod. This flute will lead to 3 checks in the Mire area, 2 in Mire Shed and 1 in Checkerboard Cave.
And then we'll see if he has Mire access, and that Ether Medallion suddenly becomes an interesting possibility again. And JP going to get his Tempered Sword.
Yeah, we were wondering if he was actually ever going to check this location or not. Running out of stuff to do has kind of pushed him in this area, so he's going to get paid off with his Tempered Sword.
And purple chest, not the answer. So we're gonna go to the Mire area. get our 3 easy checks, and then and then do we have to go into Misery Mire?
Can we go into Misery Mire?
That's a good question.
Ether, it's going to be a big bonus for JP if it's Ether, and we don't find
It's
it is
Bombos.
Bombos.
Honestly, if it'd been Ether, then either it's a big bonus for JP because the answer is Mire, or it's actually really hurts him because the answer is not Mire and he gets sucked in. There it is. Go
that is
mode
our
Hitaka.
that is
That's
go mode.
bad. That is so bad, that flute. Oh, wow.
All right, so playing the flute is great. Now you get to traverse the world as fast as you want. You don't have to worry about any extra. You didn't want to find the flute, but it turns out to be the answer. Is Hitaka remembers he's got a dungeon to finish
good call.
here. He's going to clean up.
Yeah, good call from Hitaka here. JP, unfortunately, all these checks that Hitaka did early in the Dark World, JP doing them now, and they're not going to pay off. He's going to get to that flute, because I suspect he'll do Smith Chain right after this, but this is quite the time sink that he has. In the end, I think what hurt JP in the end is just the death of Eastern that I think led him to stay in pod longer.
Agree. He's gonna end up going to Smith Chain here pretty soon because he doesn't have much left at this point. I think
that's all he has left.
Just that shovel and the Smith Chain. I think we got all that items out of pod. So and sure, why not? I think this is a great idea from JP. We know it's not going to pay off, but if the shovel is something, then you feel a lot better about how you run things.
You have to check it.
Absolutely.
I mean, you have to check it because, I mean, for all you know, Hitaka never touched pod. Pod was not required. The only thing we got out of there was that lamp, which led Hitaka to finally do Hera and stuff. But if Hitaka had just done Hera, never got into the basement, he would have been fine. Didn't need it. So yeah, if you're JP, you're like, my opponent probably didn't do this. I want this to be something.
Yeah, so JP ended up going through pod a whole bunch and ended up doing front of escape, which is something runners do or don't do. Really is a feel sort of thing, and neither of those plays, which are somewhat lengthy plays, neither paid off at all for JP, unfortunately.
Yeah, I liked the front of escape play a lot better. You're super early in the game, and you have a weapon to go through it. You can just do it. I less like the pod play. We had those myths opened up a whole bunch from Swamp Palace, and I would have followed that. But I mean, pod, like we said, pendant pod, is not the strangest place in the world to find progression.
Absolutely, I've seen plenty of good items in pendant pod before, just not today. So Hitaka's going to get to go mode Ice Palace, which is quite a breeze now that we have Icebreaker. Gonna go and hit this switch.
Yep, always hit the switch if you're go moding this dungeon. You don't want to have to search out the big key. When you're not go moding it, I personally like to not hit the switch. There's different philosophies on that one. It really depends on where the big key ends up, and do you end up having to go to Ice Tea unnecessarily. But we're in go mode, so we're gonna hit that switch and not worry about where the big key is.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's a bomb jump, not the bomb jump, but there's a second bomb jump that if you're not necessarily good at, then you probably still want to hit the switch anyways. But not gonna worry about that this time. Just grabbing a small key to get through the door and head straight to the boss.
JP getting that flute, and we'll activate it, and he's already got the purple chest, so he's gonna drag that for his 5 rupees. I don't blame him. Hitaka did the same thing. I would do the same thing. You've got that flute, doesn't take that long, but man, oh man, that purple chest is always a time sink. There's no good way to do it.
Yeah, not if you're having to flute down there. They did find some ways to make it a little bit quicker if you're not having to flute and use a portal, but this is always the slow route.
Okay, the only thing left is, does Hitaka remember he still has to go back into Skullwoods? I mean, which order he does these last two dungeons don't matter. You're gonna have to do them both anyway. Also, really nice to have that half magic in this fight.
Yeah, half magic and tempered sword make Cold Stare a very, very sad bundle of eyeballs.
Okay, JP getting his blue rupee. Taka gets a compass, but we don't care because we're already in go mode. To answer chat, Fire Rod was in Mire Shed.
Yeah, JP will have it very shortly. He's going to be very glad that this is an Ether Mire.
Or Bombos Mire. Yeah, that it isn't Ether.
It is an Ether Mire. I don't think he would have hopped in first anyways over Mire Shed. But,
you do Mire Shed, you do Checkerboard Cave, then you do. Okay, now Hitaka just needs to go do Skull Woods. Okay, and he remembers he needs to do Skull Woods. Nothing worse than getting up to that, up to Ganon's Tower, and it doesn't open for you.
6 Crystal Ganon's Tower. So, chat mentioned earlier that this was looking like a Jet Seed, and lo and behold, it did turn into pretty much a Jet Seed with only the soft required lamp in Pod. Only one item in a pendant dungeon.
Yeah, I mean, that flute was a bit troll. I mean, you never want to have to do that smith chain, but not the worst thing in the world. You know, not a super trolly seed, I would say.
No, not at all.
One small troll.
One small troll, and with Mitts and Fire Rod being your last 2 go mode items, it really locked off a lot of what our runners could do. Like, about the only thing that was completely unnecessary that both runners ended up doing was the checks on Dark Death Mountain, which could have been skipped entirely. But for the most part, this has been a really, really fast seed.
Seriously, did the mountain have anything for us today? Like,
no.
Anything?
No.
I mean, that's so rare. Like, you get access to Paradox Cave. You're like, yeah, let's go. 7 items.
Yeah, even Hera and Paradox Cave and Spire, none of it. Nothing on the mountain was needed other than that crystal. And another boss is very unhappy to see you have half magic and a tempered sword as Mothula.
Yeah, he just likes to hang out on those spikes so that tempered sword doesn't do damage. But Hitaka makes quick work of him. Piece of heart for his trouble. And JP choosing to do Skull Woods before Rice Palace. Again, the difference pretty minimal. You got the flute, so you can get. So which one you do first really doesn't matter.
So that is crystal number 7 for Hitaka. And
so what does that mean? Is there something we do here?
I believe we participate in numerology.
All right. And shout outs for a tracker duo for doing a great job tracking the race, but also starting the big key guessing game. Go ahead and get those 1 through 22 guesses in chat. We'll find out in just a second where that big key is.
Ganon's Tower has a lot of places where this big key could be. 22 of them, in fact. And one of you lovely chatters today is going to earn some internet points for guessing as close to, if not exactly, where that key's at. We'll start at 1 with Hitaka's first check, and as soon as he finds that key, we'll close out the guessing game and award those internet points. And you show up on the leaderboard. Tracy, where do you think this big key is going to be?
I will stick with the same number I always say when I'm asked. We'll go with 5.
I tend to be on more the masochistic side, and I don't know the number specifically, but I believe this key is going to be in behind this Ice Armos.
Ooh, that's not very nice. Although at least you're not saying tile room, so.
I have standards. I do have standards.
Yeah, no one needs a tile room.
While JP being on the receiving end of one of the bad glitches of the version of the ROM run Japanese 1.0. Falling down a pit ended up getting grabbed by one of these wall masters and sent back to the beginning. You still have a hitbox while you're falling down a pit, unfortunately.
Okay, number 1 is a small key. Number 2, also a small key. So looks like Hitaka is going to go to the right side. That's pretty common. If you have a small key in that first room, go ahead and do the compass room right away. Also, I would argue this is, considering that Canis and Mario was not needed, maybe it's needed for this.
We did get it pretty early, but it doesn't really mean anything one way or the other, whether it's actually required for this seed or not.
Okay, we're going to get 3, 4, 5, and 6 bombs, arrows, rupees, and more rupees. And Hitaka can go ahead and grab the small key over here. And he'll mirror and go to the left side. So, rip 5. And it's right there on the torch. Just sitting there waiting for him.
Sitting on the tee, ready to be driven home.
So that would be number 7. Congratulations to Kiros, winner of the Grandest Tower Big Key guessing game, scoring 11 points with his guess of 7.
Enjoy those internet points, Kiros, and thanks for playing, everyone. So we now will watch Hitaka make the ascent of Ganon's Tower. The Mimic Rooms, pretty straightforward with silver arrows. Just want to put one shot in each of them.
Well, Hitaka's not making him look straightforward. There we go. That's better.
Looks like one of my Mimic Rooms. They're one of the harder rooms in the game to pull off quickly. They're not bad if they not that hard to do, but if you're trying to do it quickly and you think you're in a tight race, you can kind of let them get away from you a little bit.
Yep. I think that may be what happened there. Also, this is a pretty nice loadout the runners are going to have for this whole thing. They, Hitaka with that red mail. Both runners with the red mail. Silver arrows, tempered sword.
Yeah, Hitaka didn't even bother to check a couple of the right in front of you chests in Ice Palace when he was clearing that out.
Yeah.
There's plenty of equipment to finish the seed out. No reason to check anything else.
Yeah, I completely agree. That extra gold sword, could be nice, but it's probably not worth the time of checking anything extra for it.
There's one check in Ice Palace that costs you like a half second, and he didn't even with that one. So Hitaka certainly feels confident where he's at.
Very nice one cycle on the land mode 2 with those silver arrows making very quick work.
Yeah, down to 4 hearts, picks up a 5th here. Does have a blue potion, I believe. Yes. I believe they're in Thieves Town. So
yeah, they picked up a blue potion a long time ago, and I don't believe either runner has used it. So they both should both have that.
I don't remember what was in the other bottle that they found. I think it was green.
Yeah, I don't remember that one.
Yeah, it's been quite a while.
Nice magic drop. He didn't really need it, but now he really doesn't need to worry about his magic, so that's nice.
Yeah, sometimes this room can be tricky if you're just on Fire Rod without half magic, but not going to be a problem here today.
It's kind of the one part of this game where the game doesn't actually give you a nice amount of magic to get through it. If you're too low and you don't have half magic. Yeah,
I mean, those rooms are both completely doable with lamp. So there's enough magic to do it that way, but it's certainly faster to you bust that Fire Rod out.
Grab the extra magic refill there. Go to Moldorm. Get Moldorm 2 here. And fall. Oops. Unfortunately, that's not going to help JP out enough.
No, you're gonna need a lot more falls than that one. JP can make him some time if he goes left side and gets that key off the torch immediately, but gonna need a lot more time to make up than that to get caught up here in this race.
There we go. Got him on the second try.
Yeah, first attempt trying to get cheeky with that spin and just knock yourself right in the pit. I've not seen that before.
All right. I think that may have did that hit twice? That might have hit twice.
I don't know, but that cycle hit 0 times. I do know that.
That's never good.
That one I've got the math credentials to figure out. Almost gets a double there.
That should have been a double, but Aga just decided I'm going to disappear just in time to not get hit that second time.
Does it again. Now, Aghanim's a little off cycle. It's going to be a slow fight.
3.5 hearts. That's he's got to be careful here. And JP does find that big key right away. And a death there, and this would have been a race all of a sudden.
Yeah, death there would have been very, very bad for Taka. He does have that blue potion. I hope that he doesn't have the hubris to not use it in a fight like that.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, heck, if he doesn't use it in the Ganon fight, that's a completely different story. The Ganon fall doesn't lose. The amount of time you lose dying on Aga 2 is just immense. You can't afford it. And I kind of hope he's got it selected. He's going to use it. Yeah, he just says, you know what, let's just do it. I think that's smart.
You know what I would have done? I would have gotten through phase 1, hopefully without taking a hit, and then I would have damage boosted into the circle and then used the potion.
That's fair.
He does use these cape strats, which is really smart. Can make sure he gets the 1-in-1 or the 1 cycle in phase 2.
Yeah, and I did see a green potion pop by, so magic not an issue.
There is a Ganon fall. Gets popped off by the fire bat.
Oof.
Well, you're in a dicey situation. You got 5 hearts. You don't have a safety. I'm going to guess Hitaka's going to go grab this fairy out of the tree before climbing back up.
Yeah, I think you do that. Also, with Pyramid Fairy open, he could choose to see what the bottle does there. No, I'm not going to get the fairy. Okay. Go back in.
This is not a decision I would make.
Yeah, I would have gone for the fairy. I might or might not have gone for the bottle refill.
I think I would have probably not bothered with the bottle refill unless I'd actually died, but I definitely would have grabbed the fairy.
Yeah, that's fair. Because we don't actually know what the bottle refill is. Could just be a B.
Right.
Pretty useless. Okay, back down to 2.5 hearts. He's going to go switch the cape.
Let's have the green potion, so it's not going to run out of magic. Not getting a lot of hits off in this phase too. He might not get the 1 cycle here. I think he's going to get it, but it's close. Does get the 1 cycle. We'll move on to phase 3, and now with no fire bats flying around, shouldn't have any problems.
Yeah, should be fine now.
Getting to phase 4. With red mail, can still take a hit from anything but Ganon itself. So Silver Arrows should be able to get through this, but can't be feeling great right now.
Oh, you never feel good with a Ganon fall. There we go. One more silver shot.
Get your GGs in chat as Hitaka will cross that bridge after sticking that pig and will be the winner this week, getting 3 more points for Shag Tool's digging game. Getting the sweep in week 2, Hitaka gets the win. Shag Tool's digging game moving up to 9 points in the league. WJPDTB will stay at 6. And we'll see if we can get Hitaka in here for some comments after this race. So really quick race, mostly well done. A little excitement at the end there. Meanwhile, we'll watch JP go through this Aghanim 2 fight. Gets a 1 shot on the first cycle. Having similar problems to Hitaka in this Aghanim 2 fight. Not a very cooperative spawn setup.
All right, and JP taking down Aga 2, and he'll head into the Ganon fight.
Should have a talk in here in just a moment to talk about this race. As we'll watch JP head into Ganon.
Yeah, well, let's go ahead and watch JP finish this off, and then we'll start the interview here. And since we just have to get this going, JP starting out well with those spins.
Clean phase 1. Good positioning for Ganon here. Should be a pretty clean phase 2, although getting beat up a little bit. Oh, and there is a death.
Well, I guess we're even known. Actually, in some sense, the death was sooner than Hitaka's fall. But what's going on that stream?
I think that we may have lost JP's stream here. He did finish the race, but I don't know.
Finish the race.
I don't know if he got stream early, unfortunately, or not. We know we're not going to get him on interview, but we are joined right now by Hitaka.
Yeah, GG's Hitaka. Nicely done.
Now, just as we cut in here.
There we go. Yeah, of course, right as we cut in. Nice double there with the early silver shot.
All right, so Hitaka, GG's the race. Well, congratulations to JP for finishing. A little rough traveling at the end for him, but I know that there were parts of this that could have been frustrating. But for you, it looked like it was pretty smooth sailing most of the way.
I kind of thought I shanked it there for a bit, actually.
Where at?
I can think of a few places.
Well, I'm not the end, but yeah. By the way, what happened with the Ganon fall was, I've had this happen before. I hit him, and the recoil from the sword made me fly back into one of the flames, and then that recoiled me into the pit, even though I wasn't holding a direction on the D-pad.
No, I was thinking of the Skullwoods play. Was that a little bit of muscle memory from SMZ3? Diving into the hole and forgetting the pinball room wasn't guaranteed a small key.
was just hoping I would find a key. I think it's pretty likely you find a key in those three chests.
It is, but unfortunately.
But now, I should have done Swamp sooner. I think I just kind of blanked on that one because Swamp is so gated that it's a little odd to be able to get into it that early.
Oh yeah, for sure. On the other hand, you could have done it with a fighter sword instead. You did it with a tempered sword, so at least you get that going for.
Also, shout-outs to Asder for me getting the sword off of Bumper Ledge.
Yeah, I recall a race where Azure skipped that, so he found a tempered sword later anyway.
Yeah, he skipped that, and then like people gave him crap about it later.
Yeah, they did.
So I mean,
they shouldn't have, but they did.
Did anyone ever find the fourth sword?
No.
No, both you and JP ended up covered.
It's probably somewhere in GT, and considering the GT has such a quick
TR or something.
Yeah, TR.
JP did hop into Turtle Rock and was immediately rejected by Big Key. So
yeah, I was definitely going to go into TR if it was Quake, which it was not.
Yeah, JP spent. Yeah, I mean that was kind of the big time loss for JP. He did escape right away. That was nothing. It was a mushroom for nothing. He went to pod and he didn't full clear it because he did not do Helmosaur, but I think he otherwise full cleared it. Got that ether medallion. You left with the lamp. I'm guessing you were looking for something, for some sort of fire source to get you back up to Hera, just in case there was an item in the basement, which there was.
I mean, well, I was looking for Fire Rod, and then when I found the lamp, that put all of Death Mountain into logic finally.
Yep.
So I figured I can do Hera while I'm up there full clear, and so I just bailed because that's a lot of checks, even though I'd already like broken to right side, Light and Death Mountain, and it was all nothing. All of Death Mountain just complete
garbage.
So rare.
We noticed on the commentary too. It was just barren up there, and even Lamp itself was not hard required for anything. It was it was
hard. It was logically required for the mirror. Like you were this close to having a seed where the lamp could have been in GT, but that mirror behind the lamp in Eastern ruined it.
Oh yeah, the mirror wasn't in logic all that time. I did forget about that. That's one of the things that's like, you just do that so often. Like you get that item, that chest in Eastern without the lamp. That it's like mock balling to early supers in SM.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, you need speed booster for that in SMZ3 normal. I just don't think about that.
I did like how when you did get kicked out of Skullwoods, instead of going back into Skullwoods to full clear the rest of the front of the dungeon, you did switch it up and went to did the Smith Chain, which eventually got you your flute, which eventually got you your fire rod.
Yeah, I since I did get one item out of Skullwoods, there's only one left, so that's like pretty isolated at that point. Not really worth going back for.
All right, so
did you like me trying to use the flute before I activated it?
Yes.
Yes.
We commented on that. It's pretty classic, though.
Who among us has not done that before, really?
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of the same as you see the item and then you think you have it because you've seen it.
So that's it for you guys for this week for open mode. Are you racing in one of the two standard races next week?
I believe it's me and Aussie again next week.
Nice. Yep. And Aussie, of course, I don't know if you caught the race earlier. Aussie, of course, getting you guys a win. So that gets you at 3-1, which is really nice. It's a good start for y'all. Your teammate Asher with the WoW spoilers. Were you planning on watching it later? I apologize if you're planning on watching it later.
We're just ruining the European crowd experience too. Don't worry about it.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Well, yeah, they should be watching the VODs in order anyway. So
you guys get the double dippers next week. Should be a pair of good races as well. Any other takeaways from this race or this week in Durham?
I would just like to thank Agatu for teleporting like frames before getting hit by a shot like 2 times.
Actually,
That was fun.
Let's double check, see who you have.
They have
Azure
4
and
cutters.
Sat. Yeah,
They do have
Azure and
4
Chat
cutters.
say.
I was thinking week 1 and not week 3, but
That happens. Yeah, it
that's,
happens.
that's why I'm in the booth, because I know what I'm doing.
Looks like they have Forfeiters R Us next week, so should be a good one. Should be a pair of good ones.
Absolutely. Well, Taka, thanks for the race. GG's on the victory, and good luck next week against whoever it may be.
Thanks for commentating.
Yeah, always a pleasure.
Also, I would just like to point out that in someone else's chat, I said hi to Willard, and he said that our team scares him, and I just happened to notice he wasn't racing this week.
There you go. If you go back and watch the Aussie match, you get to listen to him talk. So.
Uh-huh. Oh yeah, he commented that one.
All right. So yeah, I guess that'll be it for us. Unless there's anything you'd like to add, Hitaka, before we close this out.
No.
Okay, so the matches are done for. I guess I don't know. This one went pretty fast. So if you tune on over to Speed Gaming 2, we might still have Sabotenda versus Hazard Kitty going Spear Finney versus Tile Roomies. That match also started at 11:10. Also possible, we did end up moving the Team Kappa versus Utah Clan 1-Up versus Apathy Duck over to Speed Gaming 4 at 10:55. So they're probably done, but you never know. I mean, I did commentate an almost 2-hour seed a few days ago, so they could technically still be going. We do have several matches tomorrow, including one at 10 o'clock or 10:10 in the morning. We have Pug Trio versus the Sexy Gannons, Weighty Words versus Yagamoth. At 4:10, we have Did You Check Your Boot versus They Vetoed Our Acronym, Tam versus Gem. At 4:40, we have the Double Dippers versus But We're Buddies, Edom versus Chelsea X Lynn. At 7:10, we have Fendrana Drifters versus Seal W, Jet 082 versus Swerb. At 9:10, we have the second match between those two teams, Frostbite 3030 versus Pika Pals. And also at 9:10, we have the Immortals versus Waffle House Drive-Thru, Roach 788 versus Demo. So a whole lot of Link to the Past action going on tomorrow that I'm sure you all will want to tune in for.
Yeah, a ton of races tomorrow, ton of races Saturday. Still a ton of open rando action for the rest of the week here in week 2 of the Link to the Past Randomizer League. Interesting race today. Very quick one. Almost as fast as some of our co-ops in the last week. So don't get that too often in open anymore.
And also a reminder to go ahead and follow these runners. Except the thing is not coming up in chat. And follow my co-commentator and our tracker, Duo. Especially special shout-outs to Duo. The tracking is it's hard work. Doing the hard work behind the scenes. And I'm really glad we have trackers and people that are willing to volunteer and do that so that people like James and I can go ahead and talk about the seed without worrying about pushing buttons.
Yeah, thanks to them, and thanks to you too, Tracy. It's been a pleasure commentating with you tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And so we'll hopefully see y'all tomorrow morning for the next race.
Some rest. Have a good night, everyone.